In this tutorial I thought we would look at creating wires, so any kind of wires or pipes or anything with kind of curvature to it really. Because obviously it's easy enough, if you want to do a straight pipe you can just make a cylinder. So yeah, this is kind of for anything with kind of curvature. So you can see I've used this kind of effect here on the wires on this terminal. So the way we do this is to use curves in here, use a Bezier curve, and then use a circle curve and move that along the line. Now the reason we use this technique is because it unwraps it for you, which is obviously really useful. It takes out like half the workload and the fact that it already unwraps it for you. So let's just move these wires over here. And I'm just going to roughly kind of make this on one of these. Okay, so we'll go to our front view first. And the way I normally work with this is to get it right in one view and then right in another orthogonal view. So start with the front, then the left, then the top, and then just have a quick tweak on it in perspective as well, and then you're done. So we'll go to our curved surfaces and Bezier curve, and we'll click where we want to start this. And what I tend to do is click and then drag to start with, because that gives you these handles that you'll want to control. And use 4 and 5 on your keyboard as well, just in case it puts it behind the model or anything. Now one thing you might want to do is straight away you want to start clicking like loads of different points in here like this, so you've got tons of different points, but you'll make your life a lot easier if you have as few points as possible. Just to show you what I mean, if I just click once, so yeah, I just want to make sure, by the way, when you click, if you click up, that will get the curve in the right way. So you actually need 1 point, 2 points for the top of the curve, and then 1 point for the bottom of the curve, and that is literally it for each kind of corner that you're going to have. So we're going to work our way up here. While you're clicking these, if you left click and drag, that creates the curve like that. If you want to move one afterwards, you see if I get the icon over it and it goes green, I can then literally select it and move it up. And I can do the same with the handles like this. So you can move all this stuff. Obviously you can do this once you've made it as well, but it could be nice just to get it right straight away. So you see, rather than adding another point, I'm using these handles because it's actually a lot easier. It's a lot easier to have less points in than it is to have tons of points when you don't need them. So I'm probably quite happy with that from that view, but obviously when I look at this from one of my other views, so I just hold down Shift, left click on the mail button, and say go to my right view. You can see obviously my line's way over here, so let's just drag this over to here. Also, I'm going to just need to move these wires out of the way. I didn't think of that today. Okay, so you can see that there. This can be easier as well if you just do it from 4 views like this. So like I know I need to go from the second to the third control point. So if I look on here, you can see I've got one there, second one there, third one there. So if you right click on the line, you can then go to Control Vertex, and that will enable you to get access to your controls again. So let's press F to zoom in on that. We'll drag this over to our point. Remember, you can use V obviously to snap that, and then if you do a left click, hold it down and marquee select round, you can move that where you want it to go. Don't feel like you have to do the curve straight away, you can just... I see how that's obviously snapping to the wrong one there, so I might just do it here. Obviously I could just do it in like this view or something, but I think I'm okay with it going there. So I'm going to select the handle again and drag that round. So in this view, really, you should only be moving this kind of left and right if you're happy with kind of how the height was before. Maybe you can just tap spacebar to move in and out like that. So another useful view could be your top view as well, because this one enables you to get those kind of handles just where you want them to go. Again, it can be good just to use this one axis so you're not changing it in a view that you can't really tell. So I'm kind of happy with that. I think if we look at it in our perspective view, that's going to work okay. So let's right click on the line and then go to object mode, and there we go, we've got it as an object now. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is actually make that line that goes along this, and to do that, if we go to generate and then we go to curve utilities, and then attach brush to curves, you can see it actually generates that shape for us. Now we have a load of settings in our options over here though to sort this out. So let's get our width and so on right first. So to change the width, if we go to brush over here and then go to brush profile, this is where you can tweak the width of the shape. Like so. You can also, if you go to twist, you can turn off and on forward twist, and sometimes it looks better. It's kind of up to you really. If you go down to mesh, you can change the amount of sections here. So obviously in this case I think I only need 5 because it's such a small wire, it really doesn't need a huge amount in that. Let's try that one out, so let me use that now. Okay, so another thing we can do, if we go to the stroke this time, is go to sample density, and you can turn that down and take out some of this unnecessary detail. Right, so that's looking about right. Another really useful thing you can do is, if you're happy with how that looks, so obviously we're going to make wires all on here and all down here as well, you can actually go to presets, save stroke preset, we'll call this wire, and you can go to this one and you can go preset, save brush preset, and call this wire 2, I don't know. And then whenever you make a new one, you can just go, so let's just change some settings. Let's put that right down, and we'll put the tube sections right up or something. And then if you go to presets, you can go to wire 2 and just go to replace, and that will load that one in. So obviously you can see I've already made some presets in the past for this, but it's really useful. We can do that on anything actually. So if there's something you're doing a lot, then you might as well do that. Right, so the next thing to do is actually make this into geometry, because this isn't actually geometry at the moment, although it looks like it. And it's really easy to do. You just go to modify, convert, paint effects to polygons. We'll just check the options, make sure that you have quad output ticked on, and then just hit apply. And then we'll close. And that has been made, but I just want to show you something real quick. Oh no, that is actually okay. So we'll go to polygons and delete our history, and now we have our model made. Now obviously there are other ways to do this, but the main advantages of this one are, if we just check our UVs, this is already unwrapped for us perfectly, so let's just tick that on. You can see that is nicely following that. So that's the main advantage of using this technique. Obviously other things you can do, sometimes, you will, the first thing you want to do actually is just apply even a Lambda 1 to it, just so that when you click off you actually got something on there. Other things I want to show you really quick are we can like bevel the edge and so on, or just add in other loops if need be, because sometimes you'll have points where the shape isn't quite right because you've reduced it right down. Also, of course, another thing you can do is optimize this further if you need to. Oops. And one optimization you'll definitely want to make is, oh no, it does actually delete the caps for you.